It started to get really cold this week, so I wanted to make a classic winter warmer, which is choucroute. If you've not heard of it before, it's typical of the Alsace region in France, and it's typically a large dish of sauerkraut with lots of pork meats, so like smoked hams, sausages, pork belly, which is served with it, and the sourness of the sauerkraut goes really well to complement that fatty pork, and it's super warm and super comforting. So I wanted to make my own version of this, but just make it a bit more suited to a weeknight meal, so make it easier and a bit lighter, but still have all those comforting elements and make it super delicious. And it all starts off with our sauerkraut. So I'm making my own, and I've decided to make red sauerkraut because it's more colorful on the plate and it's got more nutrients. We have all those anthocyanins that give it that purple color, which it turns out actually increase in antioxidant capacity as you ferment it. So bonus points for the red sauerkraut, which I've also found out is typical of Czech cuisine, which I didn't know before. So that's very fun. And it's very easy to make. It just takes a bit of time. So make this at the weekend, and then in the following few weeks, you'll know you'll be ready to go. It takes 5 days to ferment. You start off by thinly slicing your red cabbage. Then you mix it with 2.5% of its weight in salt. Leave it to sit for a couple hours. It'll draw out its moisture, and then pack it tightly into a sterilized jar. Make sure the water comes up all the way to the top. Use a weight if you have to. Then seal it and leave it at ambient temperature for about 5 days. Every couple days you want to burp it, which means just open it, let some bubbles and air out, and close it up again just to make sure too much pressure doesn't build up in the jar. And then after 5 days, taste it, and if you like the level of sourness, then it's ready to go in the fridge so it stops fermenting quite as fast, and then you can use it as and when you need it. Just make sure it's always covered with its fermenting liquid. And there you have it, lovely, tasty red sauerkraut, simple as that. And then we're ready for our midweek choucroute. So I'm slightly warming through the sauerkraut. I try not to warm it through too much so it keeps all that good bacteria. Just get it hot and that's it. Don't leave it to simmer for too long. I like to add a few spices, so I've gone for nigella seeds and a bit of extra virgin olive oil, but you could go for cumin seeds as well. That'd be really nice, or whatever you fancy. Then onto my pork meat, I'm using some sausages because they're nice and easy and, let's face it, delicious. Laying them out on a baking tray, piercing them with a fork, and then I'm adding some quartered red onions and quartered apples because it's just a sure win. Apple and onion goes great with both sausages and red cabbage, and then a bit of sage to make it the ultimate winter warming meal. Pop it in the oven for about 25 minutes until it's all golden brown, the onions and the apples are nice and soft, and then at that point warm up your cabbage for just literally 2 minutes just so it's warm through, and then serve it all on a plate and you're good to go.